classic pair of ones, Nike ones in green, bigging up her sister's baby daddy and said to be alleged boyfriend, Tristan Thompson, in support of him, I guess, allegedly going to the Celtics, and she's wearing a pair of green Nikes. Now, for most of you, that doesn't mean anything, but for most of us who pay attention to the Kardashians, you know, number one, her wearing checks. Excuse me, bitch? Your name is Kim Kardashian West, bitch. And don't know if you've been noticing, but a lot of the blogs have just been referring to Kim Kardashian West as just Kim Kardashian. Now, I've long suspected that, number one, there's been trouble in paradise, and that Kanye has perhaps, as we said, gone off the rails. Yahtzee. But, you know, which is not funny, in many respects, but for most of us who are suffering and don't have the financial means to even begin to seek the kind of counsel that's necessary when we are going through mental and emotional instability, you can't help but not feel sorry for people who have the access and don't seek the help. Now, I don't know to be privy to the Kardashian West relationship, but I am a firm believer that if you put your relationship out there, whether you are in the public persona or you in the private persona, what you do is leave people open to have an opinion about now what you've made public. Now, to me, if you're going to share your relationship with me and you're going to take me on your special date and take me on your vacation and let me see y'all matching outfit and let me see y'all family photo, take me through it when y'all break up too. What's going on? Don't just be forthcoming with the world when shit is cute. Take a picture and post that shit when shit is not cute. Let us know. Let me in, girl. You done got me involved. Okay? And that's why, full circle moment, this is why a lot of niggas don't post they relationships on social media. Because you don't just get to... Social media is just a hotbed for snapshots, right? And people are so forthcoming when it is the shiny picture or what they presume to be, you know, the happier of times. They're eager to share that with you. But when shit has gone off the rails, you don't get a clue into that, right? And so it's funny. I've long suspected that Kim and Kanye were not going to make it. And I'm going to tell you why. The same reason why I think that most people who are in relationships with an unconscious and a conscious being oftentimes don't work out. If you are conscious, it is very hard for you to be with someone who is not present. And not being present on an emotional and a mental level could not just be because you choose to be aloof. It could be because you suffer from mental or emotional health issues that cause you to oftentimes not really be able to be present. Totally understandable. Totally understandable. But I think where the lapse comes in is, you know, I can tell you from experience, when someone is reactive and not responsive, when someone is shaming and not guilty, when someone is still trying to kind of figure out their way through it all, you know, and you've presumably felt like you've done the work. I think it's hard. I think it's hard to be with somebody like that. And here's the thing. You don't arrive at a place of mental nirvana. I think that as humans, you have to be open to always wanting to get there. You know, what a contrarian life that we live, that it could be so beautiful that, it could be so beautiful, yet still be so lonely, and we have to suffer the slings and arrows, but at the same time, I don't know. I just always looked at them and thought to myself, I see the kind of hardcore love relationships that I've been involved in, where you just love a being and you try to look past the instability of their lack of presence or lack of mindfulness and lack of consciousness, whether it is conscious in that effort or unconscious. You try to see past it because you love them as a being, and you hope that you've had glimmers of them in conscious world, but more times than not, they suffer from being reactive versus being responsive. And for whatever reason, consciously or unconsciously, they can't get there. So it's hard for you to tap into being with that person, But we'll watch how this Kim and Kanye thing unfolds. I think that they are probably on the rocks right now. Let's lift them up in prayer, especially because there are, kids involved. Kids involved doesn't mean you need to stay together, because that can also create generations of unconsciousness and mindlessness that is beyond. But there are little people involved, and, there's a lot involved. And so I'm definitely praying for Kim and Kanye and their family. But I'm definitely also seeing how there's something weird there. Something's happening. Something's happening in the background. Something's happening in the background. Speaking of which, seems as though our friend Champagne Poppy has turned into Fitness Poppy. Have any of you got his certified lover boy regalia? Yeah. I mean, I love that him and Beyonce are both delivering care packages. I love it. Why is it that y'all don't give Drake the love? We've had this discussion, but y'all don't give Drake the Beyonce love. Is Drake, I've never seen Drake in concert. I don't know. Is he a performer? Or is he, what level of musical entertainer is he? Is he a rapper? Is he just a performer? Is he a DJ? Is he an MC? Is he an entertainer? Is he he's a brand, obviously, but what does Drake give? Because he's also a triple threat. He's a great actor. He's got great comedic timing. He is a performer. He is a product pusher. So why don't we, and I say we, like Black community, why don't we revere Drake the way that he probably thinks he should be? Am I the only one who thinks that? I know we've talked about this before, but I just think that we don't revere Drake. I think that we have a reverence for Beyonce. I think that we have a reverence for many people, not just Beyonce. We have a reverence for J. Cole. You guys have a reverence for him. You guys have a reverence for, what's that nigga? That nigga from California? We gon' be all right. What's his name? What the fuck is his name? I forgot. But anyways, rapper nigga from California. You guys have people that you revere, right? Do we revere Drake? Has he succeeded enough that we think of him as iconic? I think that he should be. I don't know, but there's something that keeps me from signing off on it. What is it? What is it that keeps you? Because I will listen to Drake. He's got classic songs. Every feature that he's on, he bodies. Why can't he be legendary for me? Why is he not legendary? I don't know. I'm not going to spend much time on that because we've belabored that situation enough. But I think that, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just feel like the girls don't give it up to Drake. Speaking of which, this is an extra long episode, isn't it? I mean, I just gave you like a 5-minute last week, but this time, I'm going to give it to you. Speaking of which, Mulatto, the rapper, has confirmed that she will, in fact, be changing her name. Now, while she cites that it is a process that is not easy and that you guys will have to give her some time, she has noted that just by her taking on the name Mulatto has been problematic, and she's been labeled a colorist. Now, Mulatto, who I think, if I'm not mistaken, her real name is like Alicia something or the other, don't know. But for many of us, it may be like a thing of, well, why do we care that this young lady is calling herself, her rap moniker is Mulatto? Why does it bother us, right? Now, for many of us, we will not be privy or may not understand the origins of the word mulatto, which have its American roots in, so it started off as a tragic mestizo or tragic half-breed, which is what they would call a child who was Native American and white mixed. And this was especially prudent to if you were having a white mother and a Native American father, because in most Native tribes, you are excluded from being indoctrinated into the Native tribe if you do not have matriarchal kinship. So you are legally not considered as being native to the tribe because your mother is not Native American. So it kind of lends itself to having this societal rejection. Now, in popular culture, mulatto became more akin to light skin, fair, more times women, mulatta or mulatto, depending on feminine to masculine. But it would really get into the thought process of a mixed race woman being able to pass, but having to suffer the slings and arrows of just not being accepted by her white counterpart and being too light to be accepted by the black diaspora, so to speak. So the tragedy comes from figuring the hardships of Africans who are mixed living in pre-antebellum South. And it kind of goes into this folkloric story of the tragic mulatto who was able to pass and live in Big Daddy's house until she was found out to be Negra. And so this kind of goes into the idea of short stories and many American folkloric literature and stories that go into slavery's peasant homes. And one writer talks about the child who was allowed to read with the white kids and hopefully would identify still as black and would be able to soften the hearts of many whites with her light skin and her seemingly passing European-esque features. you know, the idea of being able to pass, quote